You're listening to WLRA 88.1 FM here at Lewis University in Romeoville, Illinois. I, of course, am Quinn Haywood, bringing you some of the most interesting things around campus. Today, I am joined by June L. She is the bass player of Dusk by 5, one of the local bands here around in the Lewis community area. They are all college students?
We are, so yes, I'm June. I am obviously here at Lewis. Chloe is finishing up over at North Central College for her music education. And then Tommy, he graduated from North Central last year. So, yeah.
So you're all either in college or recent grads.
Yes.
So
yeah.
definitely a newer band.
Very much so.
When did you guys start?
We started in October of 2022. It was kind of interesting how we were founded. Me and Chloe, we went to high school together and we were both like really good friends. And we had always kind of wanted to start a band with each other, but we never knew anybody to do the drums. So we actually used to have 5 of us. But 2 of them, unfortunately, one moved to Colorado, and then Jan, she didn't necessarily want to join the band or wasn't ready at the time. So it was me, Tommy, and Chloe. One of a mutual friend found Tommy for us in the hallways of the, band hall and found a lovely drummer for us. So yeah, it was history from there.
So, Dusk by 5, that was the name you guys settled on when there were 5 of you.
When there was 5 of us, yeah. Tommy was like, we meet at dusk, and then there's 5 of us. So, if you think about it, it's Dusk by 5. And we're like, that's cool.
So, and then you've never thought about changing it? That's locked in on Dusk by 5?
We potentially thought about Dusk by 4 when Drake moved to Colorado, but then we were like, Dusk by 4 doesn't have a ring to it like Dusk by 5 does. And then when we were Dusk by 3, we're like, that's even worse. No way.
The only time Dusk by 3 is happening is when it's middle of winter.
Yeah, or if you're in, Alaska or something, one of those states that you never see the sun.
Yeah, of course. I guess, what is, how'd you guys settle on your style of music? How would you describe your style of music?
So I always say that we're an alt-punk trio band from the Chicagoland area, but honestly, we're kind of genre hoppers. Sometimes we go into, for anybody that knows what shoegaze is, sometimes our music leans to that. So we kind of settled on the genre because I think, for me and Chloe personally, like I said, we've been super close friends since high school. We both have the mutual interest in that type of genre in general. Our first cover that we did all together was Dumb by Nirvana. So I think it just kind of bloomed from there. Was a lot of our covers and stuff like that too fit the genre. And honestly, punk was designed to be, I didn't know how to play the bass when we started our band. I was not a bassist by any means. We just needed a bassist. Ours was moving to Colorado. So I decided to pick up a bass and learn how to play it. And it's supposed to be, punk is supposed to be a genre where you can build your skills. You can just go ahead and do things. It's not supposed to be classical where you're classically trained and everything. Punk is supposed to be creative, and I think that's just why we went off of that.
So, you guys said you started off as a cover band. Why did the shift happen into making your own music, or when did that happen?
So we did a cover to kind of get us all started off with. I think we did have the intentions of being an original band. It's just always easier to start off with covers because they give you the music to work with and everything. But I remember at our first meeting when there were still 5 of us, when we were still technically Dusk by 5, Chloe, she brought her guitar with, and she showed us actually, which is Scream at Me, which is our first original that we ever wrote. She showed us that guitar part for it, and I just remember that being such a, monumental moment of wow, this is so exciting. We're a band. We're going to be a band and everything. It took us a while to get to where we are. Obviously, it's been almost, it's 2.5-ish years now, going on to 3 in October. But yeah, no, so I think the passion was more there with original music versus covers. Covers, anybody can play a cover, but our music is our music.
And then, is it just Chloe who writes songs and creates the songs, or is there like you guys have each created a song, or is it a group effort?
We all kind of pitch in to our parts. Chloe, I would say, is our main, like, composer when it comes to that, main lyricist and everything. There have been songs like our one song, Shadow, from our new demo EP, Haven't Got a Prayer. That one I wrote the lyrics for. I started the parts. Like, I came up with the bass line. Chloe built off of that. Tommy does his own drum things. I will never try to speak in drummer language. If I do speak in drummer language, it is incoherent, but somehow he always understands what I mean. But I rarely use drummer language.
I want a boom ba boom boom.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
Like, I got it.
And he somehow knows exactly what cymbals I'm talking about, so that's good. Good for Tommy.
I guess, like, did all of you... So obviously you didn't know how to play your instrument.
Mm-mm.
Did Tommy and Chloe know how to play their respective instrument when they came into the band?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. It's funny. Just the other day, I found out that Tommy didn't start doing percussion until he was in high school, which I was actually really shocked about, especially considering how well-versed he is in everything at his instrument. But I guess he didn't start percussion until he was in high school. I believe he said he took piano lessons growing up. That's why he got into it. Chloe grew up, and she's self-taught on her instrument as well, but she grew up playing it for a lot longer than I had before we started the band.
So it's what? Guitar, vocals, bass, drums? Are there any plans to add more members and other instruments?
We have come to the conclusion that maybe not right now. We're not saying never. We're actually working at a studio right now. Tommy works for Back of Rock in Naperville, and they're allowing us to use their studio on Sundays when there's not classes or anything going on. And he's been working on some second guitar parts. Whether we will actually incorporate somebody physically playing with us live, we don't know. For right now, we're working on it to go into the studio recordings. We're working on potential backing tracks, but we have no sights on somebody physically yet.
And then, so you're now in a studio. Where did your first recordings for all of the songs that we're going to play today and songs that we may be able to find on other platforms, where did you guys record those and how did that happen?
So this is going to be the most cringiest thing ever to people that are actually really talented in the music industry. So our first demo EP is called Live from Your Mom's Basement. So most of our stuff is recorded live from Tommy's mom's basement on a Scarlett interface hooked up to GarageBand on my MacBook Air. So very makeshift at-home studio. That's why we emphasize demo on our demo EPs. But honestly, it's just fun. Like, this is for, like, me personally. I know I'm not the music major here, but it's something that I think we all need for ourselves, all have wanted for ourselves. I mean, personally, I would love to be the next Rolling Stones if that somehow happens, but it's definitely fun. And even just being in Tommy's mom's basement is a lot of fun, but definitely taking it up a level and going to the studio, that has been really cool too.
What's it been like? How many Sundays are you guys there? Like, are you there every week? And what's it been like recording it, going from Tommy's mom's basement to the studio out in Naperville?
So we have met, the three of us, one Sunday so far. Tommy went there a Sunday by himself to get drum parts done ahead of time. And then we met, not last Sunday because it was Easter Sunday, but the Sunday before that we met and we were there for 8 hours straight. Not straight. We took a lunch break, but we were there for 8 hours. And honestly, it went good. I had a lot of fun doing it. There was a lot of sitting around if you weren't recording, especially being a bassist. I don't have as much workload. But yeah, no, it was honestly fun. It was a really big step up. Tommy's girlfriend Belle came to help us, and I think, I don't know, it's just very interesting to see how all the mechanics work in a studio, especially compared to our Scarlett interface and my laptop.
So I know you guys all like, I know Chloe's like the main person who writes out your songs, but like if you're just sitting around, does inspiration ever strike for what something may be interesting for the band to come up with, or something that you are like, okay, I think we can formulate a song out of this, or formulate a couple of tracks, or something could be there?
Sometimes we like to say we have Bluetooth connection, the three of us. One time I remember at a rehearsal, this was actually when we were experimenting with a second guitarist, and they were going to play a show with us to do a cover. And they're getting all set up and everything, and Chloe starts playing, coming up with a part at random, and then Tommy's like, ooh, and then just starts drumming something, and I'm like, ooh, and then I start playing like a bass line, and she has it on recording somewhere. I've always wanted to touch base on it, but sometimes we just have this Bluetooth connectivity, like how one of our newer songs, Sync, Chloe came up with it. Tommy did a drum part. I was not at the rehearsal when they went over it, so they played the song through it, and I go, man, I wish I was in their band. And it was like, oh wait, I am. And then like on that spot, like there and then we came up with like bass part for me, so it just kind of all clicks.
How complicated are like the bass parts? Since you said you didn't come from this instrument, you weren't really trained on it, you kind of just self-taught. How complicated are your bass parts? Are you shredding on the bass, or are you just picking the bass line one note at a time?
One note at a time right now. Slow and steady wins the race is what I like to say. I like to say that music does not need to be that complex. Like, I feel sometimes people make it overly complex with what they're doing and whatnot. Sometimes, like, we have a song called Nothing from our first EP, Live from Your Mom's Basement, and it's literally 2 chords, for Chloe at least. Her part is 2 chords, the entire song. I change it up. I have 4 different notes. Ooh, fancy. But
one on each string.
Yeah. So, although I mostly utilize 1 string. So, no, my parts aren't super complex. I am more of a, just holding it down, holding the fort down type person. But I feel the more I progress, I can see that things are getting a little bit more interesting. But no, sometimes there's a beauty in just simplicity, you know?
What does the lead up look like to the 3rd anniversary? Are there plans for concerts, plans for performances, plans for full album release, not just an EP, not just a full EP, but like a full-blown album? What does the 3rd anniversary of Dusk by 5 look like?
That is a great thing to start considering. I have an inkling that what we're working on right now at the studio probably will lead up to 3rd year anniversary. Around our 3rd year anniversary, because what is it, October, November, we did this thing called Bandsgiving last year, where it was, there were 4 of us. So it was us, Feels Like Karma, Gina Maria, and Rise of Leo were the 4 bands. And we did a Bandsgiving where, we basically did an incentive. If you brought canned goods, you got merch. And it went over really well. We got over 100 cans. We literally broke their scale when they went to weigh how much food we had. We broke their scale. That's how much food we had, apparently.
It's always a great thing to do for charity.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, I want to upscale it this year, because I think it's a really great cause, like, especially around the holidays, and I mean our anniversary's around there. So that's kind of like my big thing that I'm planning for this year. Not necessarily, I guess, towards the 3-year anniversary, but that's like kind of around that time we would do it. So, but yeah, no, I'm gonna guess the studio recorded album, EP, whatever we're going for, that's probably gonna be the biggest thing.
What, oh my god, I had it, and then I lost it.
That's okay. Sometimes I do that all the time, man.
What is, like, your motivation for being in a band? We'll go with that until I can come up with the other question.
No, you're all good. My motivation, well, I grew up as a music kid, and like I said, it had been kind of like a thing for me and Chloe for the longest time that we wanted to have our own band and like come up with our own music. Like, I just always had been a music kid, and I think after COVID, like I did college for 2 years, COVID hit, I was like, can't really learn Japanese over Zoom. So I went to beauty school, and during that time at beauty school, I feel like I was not really connected to music anymore. And so one day when me and Chloe met up, I visited her at North Central, and she, when me and her went to go see her friend Joey perform on the Riverwalk, he showed us his original music and was out there performing. Chloe went up and she performed one of her own originals, and I don't know, we got talking with him about wanting to do a band, and he found Tommy for us like literally the next day, and all of a sudden the motors got turning and everything. And I think it's just been a reawakening for me for something that I had lost almost before, thanks to COVID. Thank you, COVID. But so I think it's just been, like I said, something to do, something that's fun. But I feel like a little part of my childhood, like childhood June, is like so happy right now. She always wanted to be doing something like this. She probably thinks I'm so cool. I hope she thinks I'm cool. I'd like to think that I was cool when I was younger, but so I feel like that's just kind of like, I don't know, to prove a point. And I mean, I grew up being in the music department and the theater department and kind of looked down on, which is fine. You know, you're always going to have the haters and whatnot, but I feel like it's kind of a point to myself, my old, like my past self too, of like, hey, you're doing this. You don't have to listen to what people said about you. Like, you're good enough. You can do things. So yeah, I feel like that's the motivation.
I feel like a lot of us in the COFAC, like college, even if we are like on the communication side of things or the humanities side of things, we were all theater kids at one point. We were all either theater or band kids.
Right,
like,
yeah.
Somewhere in the music department.
Right.
I do remember my other question. It's not as like sentimental or a good like lead off point, but what do you guys do with your merch? How do you guys distribute it? What kind of products do you guys have?
So only right now do we have stickers. We like to share this joke while we're on stage or whatever, when we're like, buy our stickers. We joke that we locked Tommy in the basement to complete making these stickers, but he did handcraft all these stickers with love. So shout out to Tommy for making our stickers. We want to eventually probably do t-shirts is the next step. I saw this one band we just recently performed with, Curse Dealer. They had like these bracelets that were so cute, and I go, Chloe, you like to make jewelry, make us bracelets. So maybe there'll be bracelets in our future.
Like, and they're gonna trade them like at Taylor Swift concerts?
Yeah, oh my gosh, that'd be so cute. Yeah, no, don't trade our bracelets like Taylor Swift concerts. No, thank you.
You don't want multiple Dusk by 5 bracelets and people trade them out and have limited edition ones?
I mean, that's kind of a cool concept. Taylor Swift. No, it's okay.
I completely understand. I feel like that's a solid point for us to go ahead and listen to one of the first Dusk by 5 songs we have here at WLRA. We're going to start off with Scream at Me. Do you have anything to add on? I know it was the first like ever official Dusk by 5 song.
Yeah, no, I honestly, this one, I'm not gonna lie, is one of my favorite I probably is my favorite off of I love Chloe's lyrics. I feel like her voice sounds so, it's funny, I'm gonna say her voice sounds very angelic in it, but also you'll know when you hear it, there's some power behind it too. So this one's one of my favorites, is all I gotta say.
Yeah, we'll talk about it right after we hear Scream at Me by Dusk by 5.
That shit is fucking trash, dog. Get the fuck off the airway.
Hope you guys enjoyed Scream at Me from Dusk by 5. Again, you're listening to WLRA 88.1 FM here at Lewis University in Romeoville. I'm Quinn Haywood, joined by June L. from Dusk by 5. June, what do you have to say about that song? Like, what is... Obviously, other than it's a very powerful and heavy-hitting song.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's just one of those songs when I personally love it. I feel like Chloe and Tommy, I don't know, kind of get more into it now, but I think when we have like the breakdown there at the middle, I don't know, it's a really fun song to mosh to. I feel like people go hard for it. So it's just and like I said, when Chloe screams in it, I just think she's so talented there. And whenever she does that in any of our songs, she's a really talented vocalist. I think she's going to make, if she decides to continue with vocal education, she's going to make a great teacher one day and stuff like that. So I think it's just a really, I don't know, powerful song for us in general, because I feel like it's kind of one that embodies Dusk by Five, like a lot of our elements that we use.
So, how do you guys like market Dusk by Five? What platforms are you guys on? Where can we find you? What does your social media look like? What is something we can find, like maybe on Spotify or YouTube? What do we got?
So, I would say our main source of marketing and that I keep up with very regularly is our Instagram. I think that kind of hits, when you're looking at target market and everything, that hits our demographic the hardest, because from age frame wise, you got to look at that. Most people that listen to our music, I can see that on our analytics on DistroKid and everything. I mean, it's between the ages of like 16 to like 30-ish. So that's Instagram users. And we have a TikTok too as well. I have not been as good to post on TikTok. That's a little bit more silly content. Instagram tend to keep a little bit more serious. We love to post a little silly content here and there. Our YouTube, for sure. I don't handle the YouTube at all. I might post a couple shorts here and there that I upload to TikTok, but Tommy is completely in control of YouTube. And there, I love, because it is such a different vibe since I do the other social medias and he does that. We get to see a little bit of different creativity from Dusk by Five. I highly encourage, because we probably will upload this broadcast as well to YouTube. And by we, I mean Tommy.
Yippee!
Yippee! So Tommy will take care of that for me. Thank you. Love you, Tommy. So I would highly encourage checking it out, because we do band vlogs. And I love those. Tommy does a really good job on those. The last one, I'm pretty sure it was the last one, made me like laugh out loud.
Now, is the band vlogs like you guys at your concerts or your shows, or is it just like you guys hanging out as like a group, just doing some team bonding? Like, where does the band vlog fit in?
Both. So it's very interesting, because you get to see partially because like I've been taking content with us going to the studio now, of us at the studio and recording and things that we do, like us going to get lunch together at Panda Express, like things that you don't, there's like in one of the vlogs, it's like us like at, I think it was Wendy's, is part of the vlog. And then, you know, you get us outside of the show, like leading up to the show, what we're doing, how we're getting ready and stuff like that. Tommy calling me Sabrina Carpenter, because apparently I look like her sometimes. Like, you get those little snippets, which is like nice to see us not in a professional setting. I think people want to see that these people are relatable, not like, hey, I like their music, hey, they perform well. No, there's more to like your artists that you enjoy. You like to see those like little quirks about people and that they're humans, you know?
I do have to say I do enjoy that style of content. About how long are your videos? I know I have a short attention span.
Yeah. If you want short attention span, that's again when you look at our reels, that's when you go to TikTok for entertainment as well. I will warn, when we were releasing this last demo EP, I got very cryptic. I took some inspiration from Nutter Butters. Shout out to Nutter Butters social media, and went a little bit cryptic. So you'll see some crypticness on social media. But I would say short videos, Instagram, TikTok. If you want longer, that's the vlogs. Those are going to be on YouTube.
I guess, what are the ads for both of these, or for all of the platforms that you guys are on?
All of it is Dusk by Five. If you search us on Dusk, or if you just search Dusk by Five, don't get us confused with Ducks by Five, because that has happened. Yep, like the animal, quack, quack. Yep, has happened. Don't get us confused with that, but if you search Dusk by 5, you should be able to find us everywhere. Like on Spotify, on YouTube, SoundCloud if you use SoundCloud. We're basically everywhere. I think we're on iHeartRadio as well.
Where we broadcast here at WLRA.
Yeah, I think you can stream us. I'd have to double check that actually. Do not quote me on Pandora. I know that one for sure.
You can listen to them here at WLRA on iHeartRadio though.
Yeah.
That is one big thing you can do. Are you guys on Apple Music?
Yeah.
Wow. You guys are hitting every major platform.
Yep. Spotify. Yep.
Covering all your bases.
I am.
So the next two songs we have that'll finish us out for like the Dusk by 5 music we have are Dusk and Molly. Do you have any tidbits, stories, pieces of information about those two songs that you want to give us before we listen to them?
So I guess I'll start with Dusk since you said that first. Dusk was meant to be creepy. It was supposed to be a Halloween song, which we just continuously still play now. It's like really interesting because the beginning of it, Tommy created with the like organy sounds and everything and the chimes. He literally walked, I think it's 2 miles, he can correct me later, to a cemetery to sit and play like rustling leaves and everything, so you can hear that at the beginning. He created all the sound effects in there, so he completely did that. And then at the beginning there's like I'm coming in actually where it's like the clanking sound. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm like playing at the top part of my bass, not like on the strings where the strings are, but like where the tuning pegs are. So it's just us trying to use our instruments in different ways. Chloe slides her pick around in it, so it's us using our instruments in different non-traditional ways, which I think is really fun about this song. It's instrumental, but I think it's cool to kind of show what instruments can do other than generic playing. So that's Dusk, a little creepy, but love it. Then there's Molly. Molly, the beginning I love because you can there's like static, radio static that we actually picked up from Tommy plugging in one of the amps, and then he used like his distortion pedal. It's actually like a Christian radio station, and he's getting feedback from it at the beginning. So that's what the sound is. You'll hear.
So
like,
when we listen to it, it's nothing wrong with our radio station. It is the song on purpose.
Yes,
perfect.
It is. Yes.
So next up we have Dusk and Molly, and those should close us out for the 12 o'clock hour. Thank you, June, for being here today. Thank you for sitting down, showing off Dusk by 5. More to come. Beginning next semester, I will try and have more Lewis students on who have their music here at Lewis, trying to highlight some other people who normally may not get into the radio station and television station, just providing them with some other experiences. But next we have Dusk and then Molly, all by Dusk by 5.